Hi, friends.
Hey! Hi. So we're Wendy. We're Wendy. She's Wendy. And I'm Lola. And this is Thirst Trappin'.
Welcome to our next Thirst Trap.
Welcome to our next Thirst Trap. We are so excited because it is so nice out here in New York City. We're just taking advantage of this wonderful weather and this incredible lighting. I mean, like, look at our makeup. Sorry. Anyways, so we wanted to talk about dating and relationships because the last video we did was about friendships. And what I've noticed is a lot of people are complaining that they can't seem to find the correct significant other because they don't know what they're looking for.
Yeah.
So they're just, it's like they're in a buffet not knowing what they want to eat, so they just try little bits and pieces of a lot, and then they don't end up finishing the meal, which I think is what dating is, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like, we haven't dated since the 60s. So we don't
know when the dinosaurs were out and about.
We don't know what's popping in the dating world, but we can agree that the reason why we are not in the dating scene is because we know what we're looking for and we're not going to settle for anything less.
Yeah.
So, Wendy, why are you single?
Okay, first of all, I really don't want to date. Like, that whole dating thing, been there, done that.
I got stories.
Oh,
yeah.
Honey. Lord.
Honey.
Boy, do I have stories. But also, that's not my focus right now. Mm-hmm. So, and I realized that I'm single because right now it makes me happy. Because before, I was with someone, but it was almost like they had so much control over my feelings to the point where, you know, depending on how they were behaving, my mood would depend on that. And whenever they would feel a type of way, I would feel a type of way because they're unhappy. So now I'm upset because we're fighting. Or, you know, and the relationships that I have had, like, it's just never worked out. And I do believe that God hasn't, you know, sent the perfect person. And so when he does, I fully believe that it's going to happen easy and, you know, without any drama.
What do you define easy?
Okay.
Because some people are like, yeah, because others define easy as in they're going to sleep together on, like, the third date.
Yeah. No, that's not. Well, yeah, that is easy.
Yeah.
Sorry. Okay. Well, for me, easy is someone that has understanding. Someone that understands what it is that makes me happy and how I want to be loved and what really brings me peace. Because when you really care about someone, you care about them being happy. Right. So if you're happy, that's all that matters.
Right.
And so that's what I'm not saying we won't fight. I'm not saying there won't be things popping up. I'm not saying things aren't gonna happen. But an easy relationship for me is someone that will be willing to give of themselves and sacrifice of their own to, you know, give to someone else. Your significant other.
Okay. So
what about you?
Me, the reason why I'm single is because I've never been single in my life. So this is the first time that I'm single and I'm loving it.
Hey.
Why am I loving it? I'm not smelling my armpits. Why am I loving it? Because I'm getting closer to God, and right now that's all that matters. I prayed to God that I wanted to be a Proverbs 31 woman, and that requires a lot of growth. It's a high standard. Like, when I read that chapter, I was like, it's not just one specific part. It's everything. She's an entrepreneur. She's respected. She wears fine clothing. She takes care of herself. Her husband is very well respected. Their children, like, respect her. She speaks words of honey, soft as honey, right? Mm-hmm. Is that it? Mm-hmm. And being a soft-spoken woman is something that means a lot to me because when I get married, I want to be soft-spoken to my husband. I know that I have a very strong character, and when I am convicted of something, I get a little excited, you know, but just a little excited, just a little.
But it's good. I mean, I don't think being strong character is a bad thing.
No, it's not a bad thing, but there's a time to have that tone and there's a time to be soft-spoken. And if we're in a heated argument, I have to be soft-spoken, you know, and I have to be respectful. So So that's why I'm single. I honestly, all I see is the opposite sex. I don't see any men, and I don't know if people will find that offensive, but that's just what it is for me. I know what I'm looking for in a man.
What are you looking for in a man?
What am I looking for in a man? Okay.
Dun dun dun.
Okay. I'm looking for a leader, a man that loves God, not just somebody that just goes to church, but loves God. He's seeking for God. He wants to know about God. He wants to, he wants to serve with me. He wants to worship with me. A man that can pray for me, that is looking out for who I am as a woman. A man that takes care of himself. He's just understanding, a man that's willing to grow with me and as a single. Someone that's humble. I think having a growth mindset.
Yes.
A growth mindset for me means everything, because you understand that you're not perfect, but you're willing to grow and to learn. And a sacrificial love, which is for me to love a man or anybody in a sacrificial type of way, in an unconditional type of way, I had to learn first from God, and be understanding and knowing that people are people and they're gonna let you down, but that doesn't mean that you disqualify them because they're not perfect. As long as they're willing, they're hungry, humble and appreciative, and they love God, and they're funny.
Yes, humor.
Woo!
Make me laugh.
Humor, a man with a lot of testosterone, because I do not. I need to make sure that you are a man's man. Those hands better be big. Those feet better be big, because I got big feet, so I cannot feel like I'm in competition with you. I need to know that he needs to have so much testosterone that when he walks in a room, I'm like, that's that aroma of testosterone. I like that. So the manlier you are, the better. I'm sorry. Yeah, a man that is educated, that reads, because I want to learn.
Yeah.
I'm always curious to grow and to learn, and conversations just have to be popping.
Yeah.
Out and popping.
Yes, that's a big thing, because you could be fine, could be, quote unquote intelligent, but if you can't hold a conversation, if you cannot hold a conversation, honey.
Oh, honey. People disqualify themselves when they coffee.
But I feel like that happens
because they don't
with
educate themselves.
What you said about being willing to learn, because I think that one of the best qualities in anybody, including myself, is to be able to be teachable.
Yeah.
To really be like a child and say, you know what, I don't have it all figured out, and that's okay, because we're gonna learn together.
We're gonna learn.
And it's okay. You might say, you know what, maybe I'm not the best at communicating. Maybe I'm not the best at being likable and personable and being able to hold a conversation with you, but I'm willing to learn. Exactly. And express that, hey, you know what, I'm sorry. I tell people all the time, I'm strange, I'm awkward.
Is she? You're not that awkward. You're awkward. So dramatic.
Maybe that too. I'm dramatic too, but it's almost like I have to feel comfortable enough around you
to be awkward, to be weird.
Yes, exactly. And to be able to open up, because I'll have every single wall up, guards
all the time.
I'm
sorry. Just... I'm like, I'm not gonna say it. So we have our walls up always, because,
and especially when it comes to meeting, if it's someone that you're interested in, it's even more scarier, because it's if you're, let's say you're talking to someone that is the opposite sex, but you have no interest in them whatsoever, you don't care, you're like, oh, whatever, you're like, you don't care. But if there's an attraction there, then you all of a sudden you just it's so strange, it's so backwards.
Yeah. No, and in today's society, nobody wants to be vulnerable. I think vulnerability is a big thing for me, because if you can't be vulnerable and be honest about how you're feeling, then that's how are we going to communicate? Because the purpose of dating for me is to see if we are good together, if we have a solid foundation, as mindset, faith, all those core values. If you don't have good soil, you cannot
find good seeds,
drop good seeds, because there won't be no harvest. So I'm looking for a man that has a good soil, that really loves God, because that means everything to me. So good soil. And
what do you think are good seeds to be planted in a relationship?
Yeah.
But I'm saying specifically. So for example, you know that if you're baking a cake, you really need specific ingredients, or that cake will not be a cake.
Correct.
And so like beyond like, you know, these things that we're talking about, like key ingredients to making, like, to being able to let a relationship grow.
Communication. It's
Ding,
always
ding, ding,
communication.
ding.
If you can't be vulnerable, you can't communicate. If you can't communicate, then you're not going anywhere.
For me, it's trust.
Trust. All right.
Honesty.
Trust.
Because if you're not honest, and I was talking to a few people of the group of people, and we were talking about how trust, like really honesty is you know, it's the foundation on which love stands on. Because like I can love you, but love is walking in the light. Walk is being clarity,
honest about everything.
Because what we were talking about is that even if you're walking in gray is still dark. Gray is not full, complete light. And so what happens is that you're saying, okay, well, it's kind of the truth. It's half of the truth. You know, it's not that I'm lying to you, but I'm just not telling you the full story.
You know what's... No, and it's being able to trust somebody with your secrets, because I've seen plenty of times where I've been super honest and transparent, and they are just looking for a day to just throw that at me. And that's
the right list.
The right that. Oh, these
remember
are her secret.
Thursday,
1945. Don't steal my material. No, like, so 1945. Lola did this, isn't okay. I'm ready to just throw it at her. And then that sucks, because if that person is vulnerable with you and is opening her heart to express these things to you, like, you don't want to break that trust. So what? Also, if you should write down what you're looking for in the opposite sex, and who do you need to become to attract that specific person? Because a lot of people have these high standards.
Yeah, but then they don't work on themselves.
Yeah. These high standards, and they don't even speak the same language as that person that you're attracted to. So chances are, if your standards are really high, that person's standards are really high too.
Mm-hmm.
So you need to step up to working on yourself to be able to attract that specific person. So that way, when you guys meet, it just clicks, because you speak the same language.
Yeah.
And then, like, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
And the things that you do need to work on are very minuscule things, as opposed to having these high standards and then you completely ruin it because you're prideful, your ego is crazy, you're not sacrificial, everything's about me.
Yeah.
You know, you don't know how to communicate, so when you're on a date with this person, you just want to talk about yourself the whole time. And then what I realized when I was in that dating course back in the 60s, also knowing what you're feeding, be aware of what you're feeding your mind and your heart.
Yeah, that's a big one, because influences will come from everywhere.
Yes. What I've noticed is I was listening to a lot of trap music. So when you hear all these lyrics about the woman being in charge, and you know, like whatever Cardi B wants to say, or Lil Kim or whatever, that really stays there. And then you live up to that standard of you becoming this goddess type of woman, where everything's about you. Also, I used to read the book Why Men Love Bitches. I was truly, and I hate cursing, but I was truly that. And I didn't have the best relationships.
Yeah.
They were very, they were abusive. But then again, I'm acting this way. And even if they try to better themselves, because I'm so prideful, I will not see their efforts.
Yeah.
I will not see their growth. So what you're watching, I skip movies that have sex scenes or whatever, because then I'm gonna be like, dang, I'm never gonna find a man who's gonna wait for me for marriage. So let me just settle.
Yeah.
You know, what I listen to, what I'm reading, and what I'm looking at. What I listen, reading, and looking at.
Mm-hmm.
Those three things. So I make sure that my mind is constantly purified and it's always on good things.
Yeah.
So my judgment doesn't get clouded.
Yeah.
What I'm looking for, it's not tainted. I know what I'm looking for. I know what he looks like. I know what his breath smells like. That's how sure I am.
Yeah. But I feel like that's...
I'm so dramatic.
That's what gives you, well, it creates the good soil within you.
Yeah.
So that when the seed does, like, when you finally do feel like, okay, maybe this could be the one, maybe this could actually be something, you help nurture that, you know,
Right.
because you already within you have a good base to start off on. You have a good foundation. So you're emotionally stable, you're mentally
Right.
stable,
Right.
you know, you're spiritually good, like you're happy,
And
you're
even
in a
if
good
you're not,
place.
you're willing to grow, because I
Yes.
wasn't emotionally stable all the time.
Yeah.
But like I said, it's that growth mindset, that humility, that
Yeah.
I am all jacked up, because that's how I am.
Yeah.
I'll tell you straight up, this is my mess, but it's not going to be here for too long. So you could either stay or you
Right.
could leave.
Right, because that's what happens. People think that, oh, well, you know, I'm going to look for someone to complete me.
No,
need
you
to
got
be
to complete yourself.
Like, it's not both come together and, like, you know, you'll fulfill each other and complete each other. No, you need to be two wholes,
Mhm.
and then you'll come together and be even more, like, you know, powerful and bigger together. But, you know, it'll happen as you come together, but also you have
Right.
to be strong on your own, because, like, I don't know. It's just you finding that perfect balance of being strong, motivated, willing,
Yeah.
and yet still at the same time be vulnerable. Because
Yeah.
like if you always have something to say, something to come back at it, and you're
that
not
was
willing
me.
to listen,
That was me.
like really listen, because that's like 99% of all of the human
That was me.
nature. Like, as soon as somebody starts talking, we get so defensive, and we already know what we want to say before they even finish their point, and we think that we know what they're gonna say, and it's like, how are you gonna make any relationship work?
Right.
Especially if it's this someone that you're considering to be your significant other.
Yeah.
You know, for me, I'm like, people date left and right, and it's so easy because everything is so available.
Right.
And so it's like, if I don't like you the first 5 minutes, I'm gonna jump over to
Because
the
there's a
next
girl
one.
on Instagram who's going to respond to your DM.
Exactly. And so because things are so quick, people don't take enough time to actually invest in somebody and be interested.
So much. Why is it that every time I'm doing a video, my nose all of a sudden wants to itch? Anyways, go.
Who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows?
But this generation, this culture is everything is instant gratification.
Yeah.
They want to see results now.
Right.
But meanwhile, when they're waiting at a restaurant and they're ordering their favorite meal, they have to wait because it takes time to cook something great.
Yeah.
You know, the best things in life come to those who wait.
Yeah, it takes time.
It takes time.
It takes time.
You know, and are you willing to, like I said, to grow individually and to grow with this person? For us, I'm not going to date around because I don't want to give pieces of me to different people.
Right.
I'd rather, I personally, I know like this. I'm like, sorry, you know, but I won't be rude about it. But
Right.
they can tell when I'm not interested with my body language.
Yeah.
But one thing that I keep thinking to myself is I don't want to give myself to different people because I don't want to give portions of me to the man that I'm going to marry,
Yeah.
to the man that I love. I want to give all of me,
Right.
you know.
And once that happens, it's like, it shouldn't feel like you gotta overcome all these past problems in order for you to do that.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
someone told me yesterday that in Brazil you have to be 21 to get married, and they said you can get married earlier, but then you just need like parents' consent. But I said, that makes perfect sense, because really, people get married so quickly, they have children so quickly, and not to say there, I feel like age really is just enough. I don't think there's a set thing you have to be at least this
Right.
old to do it, but there's a level of wisdom that happens once you do grow and once you do find that maturity in you, you know. And I don't know, people are in such a rush.
No, and I'll tell you, I was always in a rush.
Yeah.
When I was younger, but I'm glad I'm glad that I went through all that.
Yeah.
Because now as a grown woman, I'm like, I'm not into a dating stage. I
Yeah.
think that's really silly. I know how to have dates by myself. I enjoy my own
Yeah.
company.
Yeah.
You know, and I know that I'll be accepting into giving my partner space when they need space, because that's another thing, you know.
Yeah.
When you're in a relationship, don't be so clingy. I'm sorry, you like that?
I don't.
Oh, okay.
So I'm like, oh God.
So like, don't be so clingy. Like, don't make your significant other your God,
Yes.
because that's what I did. And you know what happened? I got my heart crushed. I didn't have a backbone, you know. Speaking of backbone, a man that's willing to stand up to his friends or family about anything in regards to you,
Yeah.
So if they do not come in agreement as to like, listen, this woman over here, I don't know, he's willing to stand up for me and be like, listen, this is a woman I'm gonna cleave onto, and if you don't like it, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Have not only testosterone, hands, feet, mindset, and backbone.
Yes.
Humor. Forgot about that one. So, yes, if you guys have any questions, you could DM us or send us a private message. But we love you so much, and please write out your list of what you're looking for in a partner, and do some soul searching.
Yes.
Some deep soul searching.
Yes. Get to know yourself.
Yay.
For sure.
Yay.
Okay, we love you guys.
We love you guys. Bye.